Islam reacting to? Like, why are so many young men in Europe being drawn to Islam? The reason being is because the void, it's the void. Nature abhors a vacuum. And so you've had the churches in Europe, whether it be the Catholic Church or the Protestant churches, they have stripped themselves of true theology. And the Catholic Church in Europe is as guilty as this of anyone else. You've had this progressive, weak, wishy-washy, liberal gospel being preached by, every pastor under the sun. And then you've got this religion which crops up, which shows affirmative action, absolute strength. These are the tenets which appeal to young men, particularly in Europe, and of course in the Middle East, but predominantly in Europe. And so this is the key, driving force, is the fact that theology, like Christianity in Europe, has been stripped of its actual truth, its eternal truth. And that's not to say that, okay, there would be no conversion to Islam if Christianity was standing on its own 2 feet. But it's definitely the case that if you look at the UK, for example, you've got this progressive, weak Anglican church, which is basically saying that, left-wing politics is good, and, the predominant role of the church is to care about the environment and, all this kind of nonsense. And actually, of course, people don't just want a social gospel. They want eternal truth, and they want real faith. They want to be told, this is how you should live your life, right? This is the real meaning of life. It's not just about, the environment and net zero and whatever else that we're coming out with.
What you're talking about is really just the absence of authority and structure, and people actually crave that in the end. It reminds me of when I hosted Andrew Tate. I want to say it was a couple of years ago, maybe it was last year, but he similarly said, I pressed him on why he left Christianity. Yeah. And the answer he gave, which was very interesting for me to consider, was he basically said Christianity became weak, and Christians don't defend themselves. They allow people to disrespect Jesus Christ. And how are people supposed to be drawn to something that has been weak?